Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name's Mamina. This reading was channeled in through a song, a Smashing Pumpkins song called Ava Adore. At least I believe that's how it's pronounced. I know adore is the second word. It's one of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins songs. And the Divine Masculines chose that song to channel in with. If you have not heard that song before, then you may not be prepared for the lyrics. I will translate the lyrics into the context they mean, because there's the context the artist means, and then there's what these masculines mean as they say it. And you should know your divine masculines enough to know why they would use such lyrics or contents. I mean, look at the cards they're using. We'll be channeling through Twin Flame Hunger Vampire Edition by Fire Witch Tarot. She's also here on YouTube. I will have a link to her deck in the description, and we'll also be using towards the end, or at the end, Divine Perspective for Soul Connections by Angelic Revelations 144. And I will have her information as well in the description. She's also here on YouTube. That's my soul sister. I love her dearly. All right, these divine masculines chose a group of cards that are very blunt, very straight to the point. If certain images disturb you, like if you're not into horror, that type of thing makes you queasy, you're not going to want to watch this. This may not be your divine masculine, because why would they choose this if they knew that you were going to be queasy? If you're not into certain language or just anything like that, then this won't be the video for you. But if you know that your divine masculines would choose something as raw as this, you've come to the right place, my dear. This is a general reading for the collective, so please only take what resonates and leave what doesn't. We're going to hop right into this with the first card. Warning, this reading may have some triggers in it. I do sense a bit of heaviness in the reading. I also feel like even though this is coming from masculines, I'm still going to channel some divine feminine energy, some feminine energy here. So whether you be the masculine watching or the feminine watching, and whatever you may identify and resonate as, just take it how it needs to be taken. Don't take on anything that isn't yours, okay? First card. I am so sorry I've abandoned you. So as you can tell right here, they look like ghosts. I feel like the divine masculine has ghosted the divine feminine at some point. And notice they're crying like tears of ice. So this was a painful separation, even if it didn't feel that way to you. I feel like for some of you, the masculine truly just went ghost on you. Stop calling, stop texting. Didn't, if they replied to you, it was like one word replies and things like that. And so it has you feeling really cold inside. There's no other way to describe it. When it comes to this connection, you're feeling a bit cold-hearted, distant, cut off. However, the divine masculine, if you notice, even in the photo, is crying the most tears. This is a divine masculine truly regretting their decision. I feel like the reason they did this was because of fear. They're very afraid. Your guys. You could tell from just the moment you got together, this isn't a masculine that's used to being loving. And I don't mean that they're cruel or crude. It's just that even saying things like I love you is scary to them. It kind of makes them cringe a little bit. They haven't had an easy life. They don't understand what they're feeling. And because this is a twin flame connection, they didn't choose this deck by accident. It's real. They don't know what to do. Like the throat chakras, all types of close up. Lately, when channeling the divine masculines, talking is difficult. It's like stuttering, and that's just how they feel. And these are masculines that won't be comfortable. Like some masculines can stutter and then go shit and like get it together. These are the kind of guys that even doing that feels weak. It feels too vulnerable. It feels too open. Like, no, they don't like it. So that's why they ran. It's not because they didn't love you. It's because they're afraid of what kind of love they're feeling for you. And for some, they're afraid that they're feeling love at all. I feel like some of y'all didn't start the typical way. This wasn't like a, hey, you and me, let's go out and eat. This was more like spy each other from the room, intense connection, intense passion. Maybe you guys talked a little bit, but you thought that this may be only sexual. I also feel like some of the feminines also thought that at first. But feminine energy tends to wake up first because it's the creation energy. we tend to reach a state of awakening or enlightenment about something quicker a lot of times than the masculine energy does. So what takes place is the masculine energy has to play catch up. And when they're trying to play catch up, they can't translate their feelings as well as the feminine energy can. You might have come to the conclusion of what was happening before them. You might have been more comfortable with that than they were. So that's the issue going on here. Let's get into the next one. We have, no one can satisfy my hunger like you do. So this is a split group at this point. The reason I'm saying that is because some of these masculines, the moment, well, I won't say the very moment, but when they couldn't get you out of their head, they stopped calling. They thought that would be enough. That didn't work. They tried putting physical distance. That wasn't enough. So some of them did go off and call themselves mixing and mingling out there, and no one is you. Intellectually, physically, like spiritually, no one's you. And for some of these masculines, the concept of a spiritual connection is, it's not totally far-fetched, but they're not as open to it as you may be, feminine. So that's also throwing them off. They don't know who to go to for this kind of stuff. They're not a trustworthy person. And to kind of come to you would be to bear to you how vulnerable they are. And that's still something they're afraid of. There's a lot of just like fear here. I feel like some of these divine masculines, again, they don't know what love is like. They don't know what it's like to be genuinely loved by a feminine energy. They don't know what it's like to be in relationships where it's about commitment and all of that. They're used to just kind of like playing around, maybe dealing with a crap ton of karmatics, because I do pick up some karmatics in the situation, but not all. For most of the divine masculines here, even if they dealt with a karmatic in the past, whoever they tried to use to get you off of their head was like someone that they could literally drop and forget tomorrow. It's not a karmatic tie. It's just like what they call it back in the 90s, the little black book. It's like they got this little black book. They went to a random name. The person happened to be available. They went over there and realized, well, this was pointless. She's not her. They're thirsty. They're so thirsty. My tongue feels dry. That's how thirsty they are. No one else is. They could drink and drink and drink all day from this other person. It's not going to matter. It's not going to feel the need. They're just not on your level, feminine. So if you've been worried about that, you have nothing to worry about, because they're not getting satisfied anywhere else. They're just using this person or people, unfortunately some of them are dealing with more than one, to get their mind off of you. For the other masculines, they haven't had to try and be with anyone in particular. They're just, they may go out to bars, they may try to like flirt with someone, and even the flirting seems like an effort. This is someone who's probably really good at just saying what they want when it comes to sex. They can just say, I want this, I want that. Do you want to go back here? Do da 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 da. They're having a hard time doing that because all they can think about is you. And when the person talks, when the person dances, whatever it is they're doing, all they can think about is, that's not like my divine feminine though. Whatever your name, baby, insert your name. That's not like her. She can't do it like her. She doesn't talk like her. Well, duh, because that person is not the divine feminine masculine. We have come play with me. No, I keep hearing come play with me. And I know from the picture what this card says the moment I flipped it over, but I keep hearing come play with me. Come play with me. Some of you have a divine masculine that use that phrase with y'all. Again, some of y'all started off kind of just being like a fling, or, hey, you don't want a relationship, I don't want a relationship, but we seem to have good chemistry. Let's just get together, do whatever. And that was like the code for, are you coming over, or whatever the case may be, something along that line. But what this really says is, come have some fun with me. Come indulge with me is what it means. I would be careful with this energy for some of these masculines, because again, they're afraid. And a lot of times what happens with this type of masculine, this is a very raw masculine. This is someone who, they know sexual intimacy in its very basic instinct kind of term very well. They don't understand it on the deeper spiritual level the way that they're supposed to, because true intimacy, true sexual coming together is a spiritual experience. It's just been watered down over the years and decades and centuries. But you're helping them tap into that old understanding of it. in order to try and feel like they have some sense of control, they'll want to stick to that whole come play with me vibe, which will backfire on them and backfire on you because you're not going to be comfortable. Don't cave into that. You can try to talk. I'm not sensing that some of you won't be able to, but I say use your discernment if you feel that you are ready. Because if you're in this cold hearted kind of he left me for dead state, you might lash out a lot. At the same time, for some of you that felt abandoned, you may easily also fall for that call. And I just feel like your discernment is needed in that situation. You're not going to want to fall into the masculines coming in strong with this energy because they're trying to deny what they're feeling. And putting up that wall to their feelings will make you feel colder. You'll act out of that, and then that will push them further away, and it'll create a whole nother spiraling effect. Oh my God, they're so tongue-tied for you guys. I'm actually I don't like being tongue-tied, to be honest, but I'm feeling their frustration. Like when they get twisted on words, they almost get angry. So yeah, these are divine masculines that are not used to this. We have I will never let go. I feel like that's for both groups of masculines I'm picking up here. Some of them are in denial on the surface, but deep down they know they're not letting go. This is just, they can't. If they were to see you walking with someone else right now, they would be heated. That's just how intense the pull is. And this isn't possessiveness in the sense of like, I own you, so therefore, this is more like your mind in that eternal, like your mind. You've always been mine. You can't be anyone else's. I can't be anyone else's because our souls are one. They belong to each other. And that's what twin flame connections are, reflections of each other's soul. So I feel like this energy is what they're feeling deep down inside. This energy is what they're trying to cover it up with on the surface. Okay, let's go into the next set. I'm sorry that I judged you unrighteously. I actually feel like, even though it's a feminine in the image, I feel like some of you guys did this to the masculines that left. Again, not all of them are dealing with karmatics, but I feel like some of you thought, well, they left me to go be with someone else or to go do this. Whoever they're messing with, darling, it is not like that. Like, it's just not like that. They're not giving two shits about that person. However, you might have ran and like talked to some friends, jumped the gun a bit, said some things, and now words gotten back around that you feel a certain kind of way. So that's adding to their anxiety and adding to their fear. It's making them want to kind of hide behind that because this is how you probably met them. Again, I'm feeling like some of y'all didn't meet in the regular guy meet girl type way. This meeting was more like a we have chemistry, what you want to do about it type of vibe. So feeling that now you think they're just a piece of shit that was using you makes them feel like, well, damn, I don't know if I should say anything. What if I go say something to this person and they don't want me? Like that just adds to the anxiety of what they feel. On the other hand, I also feel like some masculines did this with the feminine. I feel like some masculines might have thought that the feminine was kind of crazy for the things that she believed in when it came to twin flame connections or spiritual connections, and now they're kind of like eating crow, as they say. Next, we have my hopes of your return are diminishing. This is feminine energy here. This is definitely feminine energy here. A lot of the feminists here are actually, because they're still not hearing any word back, you can feel them spiritually, but you may not be getting that phone call, or like they'll text you once in a blue moon and then they just go away. Speaking of blue moon, we're actually going to be having rare blue moons, so I don't feel like that was an accident to say. Something may happen around that time for you guys, but it's just this, the longer it takes for them to confess to you and to come to you correct and not in this just sexual energy, the longer it takes for them to tell you the truth of how they feel, the more you feel like physically, relationship wise, this won't work out. However, I do feel like deep down inside, feminists, y'all have some passion that says otherwise. Your instinct is telling you something else here, because her eyes look like they're burning with determination. She may be crying thinking, hey, he may not come back, but there's also this determination there. Masculines are feeling the cry. My heart cries out for my beloved. Yeah, I'm seeing masculines actually waking up in a cold sweat, like a nightmare. Like the nightmare is you not taking them back. The nightmare is she thinks I'm a piece of shit, kind of crucified me in her own way with her friends, family, and etc. Their opinion may matter to her. She may never talk to me again. And that's petrifying, because now they're going to be left with this feeling. They're really rethinking what they did here. They're feeling some type of way right now. And I see some of them like they're kind of patting the bed, but obviously you're not next to them. I just saw 1515. You're not next to them in the bed. And that's leaving them in more fear. And I just mentioned dreams, and we have I make you dream of me. That's kind of how they try to make themselves cope, and that's how they try to keep the connection to you. Like if she dreams of me, you know, if this feminine energy dreams of me, they'll stay close to me. They'll stay rooted in me. And then by the time I come back, they'll have to take me back because they'll be craving me the way I crave them. So if you've been having dreams of being intimate with this person, of expressing your feelings, or even them expressing their feelings, because I feel like for some of them, the dream realm right now is the only way they think they can do that, then you're not crazy. They're astral projecting to you in your dreams. Look at that. What did I just say? We have don't detach yourself from me. Look at his eyes. Remember I told you twin flames mirror each other, right? My hopes of your return are diminishing. Don't detach yourself from me. So even though the feminine has this inner determination that, you know what, either I'm going to be okay whether this person returns or not, or they will return. I'm cool with however that's supposed to go, because deep down inside I'm strong enough. The masculine's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Only one of those makes sense. Like only determination for one makes sense. Don't be trying to detach yourself from me, girl. That's why they have you dreaming of them. We have, and why are they doing all this? And why are you doing all of this? Because we have your energy is so contagious. And that's from both of you. It's masculine and feminine energy. I feel like for the masculine, you give them courage to try to fix this. Feminine energy awakens first. So when you start to get yourself together, when you start having self-love, really focusing on you and getting better, it sparks them. Sometimes it can also spark their jealousy as well, because they get scared, and we're dealing with a fearful masculine. He may not like that. He may not want to admit that, but that's what it is. Look at that. I'm scared you might know my secret. Yeah, you want to know what the secret is? They're in love with you. And they don't know how to cope with that because they've never been in love with anyone. They may have had love for someone. They may have kind of cared about someone, you know, like they'll take a bullet in the arm. But for you, it's more of a lay down of life. I'm hearing that part of the song where he says, for you, I crash cars. Like for you, they're willing to destroy something if they had to, or rebuild it. With you, they feel like they taste God. With you, they feel like they taste a part of the divine. That's another line from that song, is with you, or in you, I taste God. So they feel like that's the energy they have with you. I'm also hearing again, and the song has been playing over and over in my head from these masculines. So I'm definitely going to make sure that the title of the song is in the description for you guys. But there's a part where he says, you'll be the mother of my child and a child to my heart. So they view you as the divine feminine that can birth life in the world, spark life in them. But they're not just talking about a baby here. They're also talking about within them. You make them feel alive. You make them feel intense vibrations and emotions. At the same time, there's something innocent about you, something that makes them want to be a child at heart for you and with you. So they also feel protective of you in that aspect too. That's again why some of them left. They felt like, I'm not good enough for this person. I'm going to damage this individual. I'm going to ruin them somehow. Let me bounce. Let me ghost them. Let me run away. But now some of them, the only way they know how to get back up under you without revealing all of their feelings is to play how they came into being into union with you. For those of you who didn't get into union through a mainly sexual connection, it's still the thought of, maybe if I just lay with them a few times, I can get them out my system. Yeah, masculines, that never works. So I know masculines watch these videos. Boo-boo, it never works. It never works. Let's see top of the deck. tempting offer. Masculines, we see you. We know what you're up to. I feel like this tempting offer isn't just to give you the rose, the illusion of, I only want to be intimate with you. We miss each other, so let's just get our frustrations out the way that we first began them. That's a facade. That's a lie. They know that. I feel like the real tempting offer is giving you their heart, but disguising it as a lustful rose. Let's go to the bottom of the deck. Look at that. Starving. My soul hungers for you. Don't turn your back on me. Don't turn your back on me. I kind of feel like that's both feminine and masculine energy coming in there. Don't turn your back on me. They don't want to be abandoned. Okay, these little cards were already shuffled. I just didn't actually let any come out. So let's tap into the divine spirit and get some more clarity and insight here. Balancing emotions. That's what these masculines need to do. You too, feminines. I feel like you guys need to balance your emotions so that when they come around and it's time to try to talk things out, you're not going to be too quick to fall in either pot. You're not going to be too quick to just haul ass and leave, but you're also not going to be too quick to just go, okay, well, let's lay with each other because I've missed you so much. Balancing emotions. They need to learn to balance their emotions and to be open with you. See, look at that. Pause to reflect. No quick jumps here, guys. No quick, let's just lay together because we've missed each other. Because again, sex is spiritual intimacy. It's always been its purpose. It doesn't matter what a background or belief system is. Some things are absolute, and that's an absolute. That's why when these kind of connections come together, you could be a very experienced person. Nobody here is judging you, but you get with this person and you feel like you're a virgin, like you've never done anything. And that's masculine or feminine energy. That's just how raw the emotions are. And like I said, this feels like a very raw group. What else do we have for this group, spirit? For these masculines? Almost went on the floor. Patience. These masculines are going to need you to be patient with them, feminine. And for the masculines watching who feel this way, I would say the same about your feminine. Both of you really need patience, but feminine, you're quick to be triggered when the masculine is acting out, we'll say. And it's important that you remember it's something in their past that made them this way, and they carry it. I mean, this is a literal fear. I mean, they're waking up with nightmares about not being with you. That's how scary it is. At the same time, they're petrified of the union because they're thinking to themselves, if I love this person this much, I haven't even fully expressed all my feelings. I love this person this much that I'm waking up crying because they're not next to me, or crying out for them and reaching for them and they're not there. I'm in a cold sweat. What will happen if that person don't love me the same? What would happen if that feminine wakes up and just abandons? They see you as the mother to their child and the child to their heart. And that takes a lot of vulnerability within itself. I'm also hearing, you'll be a lover in my bed and a gun to my head. Like you're like it's like you're the solution and the problem to them all at the same time. You're really the solution. But because they're not used to these emotions, there's a lot of conflict. And it's all deep. So we need to let them pause to reflect. You need to pause and reflect. Both of y'all need to balance your emotions and have patience with each other. Let's see if there's anything else. And then we're going to wrap this up. Yeah, because this was an abrupt ending. Like I said, they ghosted you guys. They just stopped contacting. Just left it how it was. And that just left you guys feeling cold, crying cold, icy tears like in that photo. So you need to be able to pause and reflect on that, because they can't think that it hurting you like that is the go-to response. And they may not mean to, but it may end up becoming their go-to response if they think, hey, you're going to take me back when I do it though. So deep conversations are necessary here. We have spiritual knowledge. Many of these masculines are tapping into spiritual knowledge to try to understand what is happening here. But they're still very confused. They still need your help spiritually. They need that goodwill. The more you advance in taking care of yourself, feminine, the more you step into your power, into your own grace and spirit, the more that it compels them to do the same. They're still responsible for their actions and how they go about things, just like you are. This reading is to clarify your situation for you. This reading is to give you guidance. You probably knew these things already. You just needed them laid out in more detail. How you go about what you've learned, that's your responsibility. That's up to you, and the same is for them. However, Spirit is letting you know that because there was an abrupt end, that a pause to reflect needs to happen before you both try to just rush back into each other. A balancing of emotions needs to take place, even if it's in conversation. Even if, I feel like for some of you, you might feel like you can't physically be in the room right away because things may go down, right? You need patience with these masculines because that fear comes from, is something, for most of them, I just feel like they've never really been loved, so they don't know what love is. Deep down, their soul kind of does, but that's the soul. On the surface, they're like, love, what is that? What is that? People don't have that. That's not real. That's a fairy tale. That's how they sell candy in the store, you know? Spiritual knowledge will help the both of you. Feminines, many of you are already into this kind of thing, or you're digging into it, but I really do feel like masculines are starting to tap into the spiritual knowledge here to try to make sense of this connection. If you are the masculines watching, this is a no-no. No, 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 no. No. Bad masculine. Bad boy. No, no. That's not going to help you. That whole, if I just do this a few times with them, I'll be cool for like another. You will not. You're not going to be. Because that's the divine feminine. And you know that being inside of the divine feminine is not the same as all the other little chickies in the sea. Right? With that being said, I put blessings upon this union, that you'll be able to come together. Everything will be able to be worked out. You'll be able to confess your feelings to each other truly and naturally. Blessings to you. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Come together in harmony. You are loved.